Welcome back in. As we all know, 2024 officially underway. So we wanted to check in with Toledo Police to look back on the past year and what's ahead for the year to come. Chief Michael Troendle is with us this afternoon answering some questions for us. Thanks so much for being here, Chief.
Hey, thanks for inviting me. I appreciate it.
We really appreciate you being here, Chief. We are coming up on 1 year of you taking the reins. So give me a little bit of a reflection, just quick, on how this past year has been for you and how it's felt.
It's actually kind of been a whirlwind. Going through the process to get hired as the official chief, brought on some different stressors, and then officially getting named and taking over and trying to put your stamp on the department and get us moving in the right direction. But it's been pretty cool.
Talk to me a little bit about what your biggest challenge has been as an officer, and then when you took the reins, what it's been as that transition to chief.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously 30 years on the department, so I've kind of filled a lot of different roles. But prior to becoming chief, I was the assistant chief, and that was kind of a unique role, just making sure you're kind of looking out for the chief, and you're heading one division of the department. So when I took over as chief, being responsible for the entire department and setting that agenda and that goals of what you want to do and accomplish, that was a whole new eye-opening experience.
What are some of the toughest management decisions or decisions in general that you've had to make since taking over as chief?
So personnel decisions are always kind of tough. Trying to find the right person for the right job, trying to find the right commander that's going to carry out your vision and help lead the department into the future. So that's one of the harder things.
We are coming off of a year where we've been told that violence and gun violence was down, but we've seen an increase of violence with youth. Is this something you all at Toledo Police will prioritize? And if so, are you able to explain, what you guys plan to do for 2024?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, overall, any violence, any shooting, any homicide is important. The increase in the amount of juveniles involved this year is a little bit troubling. So we're looking at different options to try to increase our presence in the community through our foot patrols, our bikes, but also through our school resource officers being in the school, talking to our kids, and trying to convince them there's a better path. We don't need to turn to the gun. So we're focusing really heavy on the what we call the non-fatal shootings. So homicides down almost 30% or a little over 30% this year. Our non-fatal shootings is something we're going to really focus on next year and try to reduce the shootings in general, which should have a impact on the homicides as well.
Is there anything specific you all do to outside of being more foot traffic to help reduce that number?
So, we run different programs. If we take our team initiatives, we do those, our stop initiatives. We do a bunch of different targeted enforcement. So we're big on intelligence-led policing. Have units that are specifically designed to look at the shootings, to look at the shooters and the groups that are involved in the shootings and try to intervene before that retaliatory shooting or the next incident occurs. So we're constantly on top of anything from social media to the informants on the street, trying to make sure we understand what's happening out there and can do something to prevent it.
How do you lead as a chief? We know this job for police officers, their life is on the line every day. It is not at all a desk job. So what do you do to inspire them and to get them motivated to go out every day?
So that was one of the things when I took over. That was the first thing I did, is just empowered them to do their job. 2020, rough year, and we had a lot of officers kind of take a step back, and they just weren't sure where the support was in the community, in the administration. So I found it was very important to step forward in front of them and say, I want you to do your job. Your community wants you to do your job. So get back out on the street and start enforcing the law, start being a visible presence. It's one thing to just be out there, enforcing the law, writing tickets, but I want you to be out there in the community actually talking and engaging and getting to learn your neighborhoods that you're patrolling. So that was a huge step for our officers, I believe, just giving them that okay to be out there and do the job, because it was tough and it's constant scrutiny, and officers are always worried about, doing the right thing. But, the video doesn't look good, or someone decides that they don't like the way they did it. And we don't work in a sterile environment. This isn't an operating room. We are out there with chaos, and you're making split-second decisions, and you have to know that you're supported. So that's an important role for me, is being out there and making sure that they understand I've got their back.
Last thing, hopes and goals, or any last words for the community for the new year?
Yeah, so obviously I would love to see a year without any homicides, without any shootings. The goal is to try to get our community to step up and be a part of our team, because as a police department, we just can't do this on our own. So the fact of the matter is, when you live in a community, you understand your community, you understand your neighbors better than we ever will. So being out there and being someone that can step forward and help us, we have plenty of ways to, submit anonymous tips. Getting that information into our hands will help us hopefully save a life or prevent a tragedy.
Chief, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it, and we hope you have a happy new year.